The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as Admiral Kane stepped forward, her boots echoing against the crystalline floor. Representatives from 12 star-spanning civilizations watched with barely concealed disdain as the human approached the central podium. To them, humanity remained the youngest species in known space. Barely 3 centuries since first contact, still considered primitive by galactic standards. Esteemed council members, Kane began, her voice steady despite the weight of what she was about to reveal. We gathered today because the hegemony has issued its final ultimatum. They demand Earth's surrender within 48 standard hours. The insectoid delegate from the Hive Collective chittered in what passed for laughter among his species. And what can the infant race possibly do against the hegemony's 1,000-ship armada? Your entire fleet numbers less than 50 vessels. Kane allowed herself a small smile. That depends on how you define our fleet. High Commander Vex of the hegemony leaned forward in his hover throne, massive frame casting shadows across the chamber. His people had conquered 17 star systems in the past decade alone, their military might unquestioned throughout the galaxy. Human arrogance knows no bounds. Your species has existed in space for mere centuries. My empire spans millennia. Kane replied calmly, which is precisely why you've misunderstood us so completely. She activated her personal communicator, speaking a single word: revelation. The chamber's massive viewing screens flickered to life, displaying star charts that made several delegates gasp in recognition. Ancient shipping routes, long-forgotten patrol patterns, archaeological sites that had puzzled xenarchaeologists. For generations, you see, Kane continued, humanity has been traveling between stars for far longer than 3 centuries. We simply chose to remain hidden. The first image showed a derelict station orbiting a dead world in hegemony space. Its architecture was unmistakable human design, but ancient beyond measure. The timestamp read 12,000 years ago. The Terran Deep Fleet has been protecting this galaxy since before most of your civilizations achieved spaceflight, Kane explained. When your ancestors were still discovering fire, our ships were already patrolling the void between stars. Commander Vex slammed his fist against his throne's armrest. Impossible. Our historical records show no trace of human presence before first contact, because we didn't want you to find us. The screens now displayed sleek vessels emerging from what appeared to be empty space, their hulls shimmering as advanced cloaking. Systems disengaged. Ships that dwarfed even the hegemony's mightiest dreadnoughts. Their designs clearly predating any known galactic architecture. The collective delegates, compound eyes, focused on the images with newfound respect. These vessels, their technology signatures, are completely unknown. How is this possible? Kane walked slowly around the chamber's perimeter, making eye contact with each representative. 12,000 years ago, humanity faced a choice. Had developed faster than light travel, energy weapons beyond your current comprehension, an artificial intelligence that could predict galactic events centuries in advance. We could have conquered the galaxy then, when most of you were still planetary-bound. She paused at the hegemony delegation. Instead, we chose a different path. We established the Deep Fleet, a secret armada tasked with maintaining galactic stability from the shadows. We guided young civilizations away from self-destruction, prevented interstellar wars that would have consumed entire systems, and eliminated threats that would have ended life as we know it. The screens now showed historical footage, disasters that never happened, invasions that mysteriously failed, cosmic anomalies that vanished without explanation. In each case, barely visible human ships appeared in the background, their presence so subtle that only enhanced analysis could detect them. The hegemony's expansion was allowed to continue because our projections showed it would eventually stabilize regional conflicts. Kane continued, your conquest of the spiral arm created the balance of power we needed to prevent a much larger war. But now you threaten that balance. Vex's voice carried a tremor he couldn't quite hide. Even if this fantasy were true, one species cannot stand against the combined might of a galactic empire. Kane's smile widened. Hi, Commander. You still don't understand? We aren't one species anymore? The final series of images showed the truth that would reshape galactic politics forever. Hidden bases in asteroid fields, camouflage stations in nebulae, entire fleets operating from dimensions parallel to normal space. But most shocking were the crew manifested humans, working alongside species that supposedly had never encountered Earth until centuries later. The Deep Fleet has been recruiting the best minds from every civilization for millennia, Kane revealed. Your own military academy's top graduates from the past 1,000 years. Half of them are serving aboard our ships right now, having staged their own deaths to join our cause. The chamber erupted in chaos as delegates realized the implications. Their most trusted advisors, their greatest strategic minds, their closest allies. How many were part of this ancient human conspiracy? Kane raised her hand for silence. The hegemony will withdraw from Earth's system immediately. You'll also cease all expansion operations and return to your pre-war borders. This is not a negotiation, and if we refuse, Vex demanded, though. His bluster now rang hollow. The lights in the chamber dimmed as massive shadows passed over the station. Through the transparent aluminum walls, the assembled delegates could see them hundreds of ships emerging from hyperspace, their hulls bearing the insignia of the Terran Deep Fleet. Vessels so advanced they made current technology look like primitive tools, yet clearly built by human hands millennia ago. Kane's voice echoed through the stunned silence. High Commander, you have 48 hours to comply. Unlike your ultimatum to Earth, ours comes with 12,000 years of preparation behind it. As the hegemony delegation filed out in defeat and the other representatives struggled to process what they had learned, Admiral Kane stood alone at the viewing port. The greatest secret in galactic history had finally been revealed, not through conquest or threat, but through necessity. Humanity had been the galaxy's silent guardian for eons. And now, the children they had protected were finally ready to know their true protectors.